Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel, your home for honest, unapologetic political commentary, in-depth analysis, and the truth they don't want you to hear. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and drop your thoughts in the comments section below. Let's get into the biggest story shaking South African politics and sending ripples across the globe. This week, a solemn funeral for fallen economic freedom fighters, EFF, members turned into a firestorm of controversy when EFF leader Julius Malema did what he's become both famous and infamous for, closing the ceremony by singing the polarizing struggle song, Kill the Boer. Now, in the past, Malema has defended the song as part of South Africa's painful but necessary revolutionary history. But this time, the setting, the timing, and the tone of the moment have sparked an intense backlash from inside South Africa and abroad. And it all happened during what should have been a moment of grief, unity, and respect. Let's rewind. On Monday, a devastating head-on collision between a bus and a truck near Ulandi, KwaZulu-Natal, claimed the lives of 10 EFF members. These young activists were returning from the party's June 16 Youth Day rally in Durban, an event meant to honor the legacy of the 1976 Soweto uprising and to inspire young people to fight for economic justice. But tragedy struck, and what was meant to be a hopeful journey turned into a national mourning. The victims, now referred to as the June 16 Battalion, were laid to rest in a mass funeral in Vryheid, KwaZulu-Natal, attended by Julius Malema and senior EFF leadership. Malema's speech at the funeral was emotional. He told the crowd, they died while in pursuit of life. They were traveling with hope in their hearts. But the journey that should have taken them toward opportunity ended in tragedy. He promised to build houses for the families of the deceased, vowing that their sacrifice would not be forgotten. Up to this point, the event struck a powerful, solemn tone of solidarity and reflection. But then came the moment that has split public opinion. Malema closed the funeral by leading the crowd in singing Kill the Boer, a liberation-era song that has long been a source of debate in post-apartheid South Africa. Critics immediately pounced, accusing Malema of hijacking a moment of mourning for political theater. On social media, hashtags like #KillTheBoer, #MalemaFuneralOutrage, and #EFF Funeral Controversy began trending, with South Africans from all political backgrounds weighing in. One user wrote, "If there's no connection between these deaths and the Boer, why sing the song?" Another said, "No respect for the dead, Julius Malema. You're at a funeral, not a rally." And perhaps the most cutting came from someone who simply stated, "A shameful display. What happened to dignity?" But it wasn't just ordinary citizens or local political figures reacting. The backlash went international. Former US President Donald Trump, who has previously criticized South African land reform and expressed sympathy for white farmers, reportedly condemned the incident, reviving his claim that South Africa is hostile to its white minority. And in a surprising twist, billionaire tech mogul Elon Musk, who has South African roots himself, also weighed in. Musk has previously spoken about South Africa's political climate and has condemned songs like Kill the Boer, calling them incitement rather than history. Then came the bombshell from Gayton McKenzie, Minister of Sport, Arts, and Culture, and leader of the Patriotic Alliance. Speaking at the homecoming event for the victorious Proteas cricket team at Tambo International Airport, McKenzie tore into the EFF and Malema's use of the song. He said, "This country has amazing sports people. Black, Indian, white, and colored kids singing the Themba Bavuma song together. Why should we worry about nonsense like Kill the Boer?" He didn't hold back, calling those who still sing the song idiots. He later doubled down on social media, saying, "The current South Africa has no place for such a song. It has no value and contributes nothing towards the South Africa we are trying to build." Now, let's address the complexity of this issue, because this is not black and white, politically or morally. On one hand, struggle songs like Kill the Boer were born out of a specific historical context, a time when the apartheid regime violently oppressed black South Africans, and revolutionary songs were both a form of resistance and unity. Malema and his supporters argue that these songs are symbolic, not literal. They represent a legacy of resistance against oppression, and to silence them is to erase part of the country's history. On the other hand, South Africa in 2025 is a democracy striving for reconciliation. The use of such songs in emotionally charged spaces like funerals, especially when white South Africans are not part of the context, can be seen as inflammatory, divisive, and even threatening. Critics argue that these songs, no matter their historical meaning, no longer serve the purpose they once did and now risk reigniting racial tension rather than healing it. And this is the crux of the issue. Was this an expression of cultural memory or political opportunism? Was Malema honoring a revolutionary legacy or exploiting a tragedy to whip up partisan sentiment? Was this about freedom of expression or about stoking old divisions in a country desperate for unity? These are not easy questions. But what is clear is that this incident has reignited the national conversation around what post-apartheid South Africa should sound like and who gets to define its political tone. Even within the EFF's own ranks, opinions are split. Some argue that Malema remains a revolutionary voice who refuses to be silenced by political correctness. Others feel that the party is risking its credibility by allowing moments of mourning to be politicized. Meanwhile, victims' families have not issued any official statements about Malema's remarks, but community leaders have called for respect and healing above political point scoring. And so, the debate rages on. As we close this video, we ask you, our audience, what do you think? Was Julius Malema's use of "kill the Boer" at a mass funeral deeply inappropriate, or a legitimate act of political defiance? Should South Africa finally put controversial struggle songs to rest in pursuit of national unity? Or are critics simply overreacting to symbolism while ignoring the very real pain still felt by many in this country? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you value honest, critical political content that isn't afraid to ask tough questions, make sure to subscribe to this channel, like the video, and share it with others. As always, thank you for watching. Stay informed, stay thoughtful, and stay engaged with the issues that matter most. See you next time.